Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Software Engineer K here, and today we have a very big update. So we recently had the reveal of the OMI utility program, the OUP, this weekend, and I'm just going to be going through one significant part of it and my breakdown, because it is a very big chunky program. So shout out to Reese and Puddin Cheeks and Brock who kind of worked on this. I'm just going to be focusing for now on the staking aspect because there's quite a lot to go into this. I'm going to be giving down my kind of outlook, a few kind of calculations based around my upcoming mid to short term predictions, and just kind of where I can expect the staking system to play out moving forward. So first off, for those who don't know, and you should know by now, the OMI staking system, it has several tiers, and one of the significant things they award are OMI utility program tickets. Now these tickets can be redeemed within the drop. So the bronze one, you know, that's kind of open to everyone, and you can obtain these by either burning $1 worth of OMI tokens, and there's various different ways you can burn tokens, as a perk in seasonal and yearly staking awards. So I will touch on this in a second. And you can also redeem burn points. Now this is a big one because transacting in OMI in the app, when we get OMI to NFT, for example, there has to be a incentive, and if you are transacting in OMI, you are going to get these burn reward points. So you know that is an incentive for people to go around and use gems, so to use OMI as opposed to gems. Now however, because there are problems with getting OMI into the app, it is quite a bit of a long process. They are going to also make OMI available within the app itself to buy with one click. So, you know, you don't have to kind of deal with all the exchange and bridging and swaps. Like, you know, Reese himself said, you know, that nonsense will be done with once the OMI purchasing is added in the app, and that is currently on their roadmap. You can see the progress of that, and I will actually touch a little bit on the progress as well. So, bronze tickets are all good. Silver tickets, you know, very similar, but what they do is they kind of allow you to waive the market transaction fee. So this can be extremely lucrative if you are going for a very big purchase. So I think those silver tickets, those could actually go for quite a bit, because we know those fees, they then do tend to wrap up quite quick if you are going for those kind of grail collectibles. And I think a lot of the whales, they will want to stack these silver tickets, especially for purchasing those big one-of-one items in the app. Now the one I really want to focus on is the golden ticket. Now the golden ticket, we know, does give you a guaranteed allocation in a drop, and these are going to be quite scarce to come by. Also, if you have the golden ticket, the really big one is you get some exclusive land plots in the VeVeVerse. So the golden ticket is essentially the grail of tickets, and it is something that you can actually sell on the secondary market as well. So I have a feeling that a lot of the especially the whales in the community, they are going to want to snap these up, but these are harder to get. So how can you maximize your ability to get these? Now this is where I kind of think that they probably will need to revise this. So Reese is probably watching this. I'm sure he's already kind of seen the calculations around this, but you know, it's something that I would personally advise kind of maybe changing the rewards a little bit, just to make the golden ticket a bit more I guess scarcer on the lower tiers, and you know, a bit more obtainable in the higher tiers, because this is one of the problems that you have. So Dive Jedi, he's kind of highlighted this for us. So if we have a look at the different tiers, so we've got tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, tier 5, and the different amounts of dollars worth of OMI that you need. So 2,500, 5,000, 10k, 20k, 40k. Now at tier 3, which takes about 6 million OMI at today's price, what do you get at tier 3? Well, you get 60 bronze tickets, you get 2 silver tickets, and 1 gold ticket. So if you want to go to the next tier up, you need twice as much OMI. You need 12 million OMI. Now what do you get for 12 million OMI? Well, you get 80 bronze tickets, so you get 20 more bronze tickets. You get the same number of silver tickets. You get the same number of gold tickets. And that's pretty much it. Now, yes, you do get the exclusive staking collectibles as well, but for now we're just going to focus on the tickets, because the collectibles, we don't know if they have any like extreme utility that's going to make it far, far better than these tickets. We just don't know yet. So I'm just going to focus on the information that we do currently have. Now, what could you do instead? Now, this is where it starts to get interesting, because let's say, you've got a family member, your partner, whoever, they're on VeVe as well, but they're not, they just have an account. They don't really kind of get involved in OMI. Let's say you have 12 million OMI. You could give your partner, or whoever it is, 6 million OMI to stake for you. And so you could have 2 tier 2 accounts as opposed to 1 tier 4 account. Now, what's the difference? Well, if you go with 2 tier 3 accounts, you would have 120 bronze tickets as opposed to 80. You would have 4 silver tickets as opposed to 2. And you'd have 2 golden tickets as opposed to 1. So it makes sense for people to go for 2 tier 3 accounts as opposed to 1 tier 4 account. And it's going to cost you the exact same amount of OMI. So why would someone with 12 million OMI want to do the tier 4 account? The incentive just isn't really there. And again, this incentive gets even more diluted at tier 5. Now, one reason they could be doing this is to reduce the fees. Now, are the reduced fees enough to offset getting twice as many gold tickets, twice as many silver tickets, 1.5 times more of the bronze tickets? I don't know. I think getting twice as much land is probably going to be, I think it'll be better. But again, we don't have all the information yet in terms of what the other exclusive collectible does, if it does do anything. It would have to do something very significant for someone to go for the tier 4. Now, again, if you have a lot of OMI, then yeah, you can do tier 5, and you could do multiple tier 3s, 4s, depending on how many of your people you have in your family who have accounts that are willing to stake for you. But it is a very interesting thought. I think this is something that should be subject to revision. And again, I think Reese is going to be kind of revising this as well, along with the other guys who helped with the utility program, because they're looking for this feedback, right? Now, let's ignore tier 4 and tier 5. Let's just focus on tier 3, because that's the one where you get the golden ticket. The staking does get a lot more interesting. So for 12 million OMI tokens right now on Etherscan, we are seeing that there are only, let's see, okay, so there is about 746 accounts with 12 million or more OMI tokens. Now, a lot of those accounts obviously don't really count, because they are accounts that belong to Ecomi, business dev. There's some accounts with just locked up liquidity, some accounts where people just spread across a large bag of OMI across several wallets, especially in the kind of higher tiers. So let's just say 700, right? We'll go with 700, because some people they've got OMI that's just locked up in a wallet that they can't even access. It's happened. So 700 people have 12 million or more OMI. Now again, there are some people who haven't actually migrated to GoChain, but I imagine a lot of those people, if they didn't migrate back when OMI hit 0.8 of a cent again, it's safe to say that there probably aren't too many of those that will be migrating anytime soon. At the same time, I'm not sure if this counts private wallets. Not 100% sure. This could, I heard someone say that this is just exchange wallets, so that makes sense. Although it'd be very weird for people to keep that much OMI on an exchange, so I think possibly this might be counting private wallets as well. That's my suspicion. Actually, I could probably check my wallet address on here just to confirm, but I think let's say 700 people. Now, if we kind of go by today's numbers, there's about 5,500 daily active users. That means a user that is currently transacting in the market, so they're buying or selling, and they have at least one collectible in their account. 5,500. Okay, if we have 7,000 people, I would say 700 people currently with enough OMI. Let's say, that would give us about 4,800. So I'm gonna go with 4,800, and at today's price, seeing 6 million OMI to get to tier 3, that gives us 28.8 billion. So 28.8 billion. Now, that is quite a bit. I'm not going to say that's nothing. However, let's say we currently have we have I'm going to say, let's discount David and Dan's wallet, and they are burning some more. So I believe the circular supply kind of goes down to around about 230-ish. So let's say 230, right? So 230 billion, that is circulating supply, after you take away the burn that's going to happen for the biz dev, and if you discount David and Dan's tokens. So 28.8 divided by 230. That means we are going to have 12.5% of the circulating supply, just instantly removed from just staking at today's kind of user base, which is very tiny, 5,500 at max. That's daily as well. That's not even including people. Actually, I wouldn't even be counted in that daily user statistic because I don't transact every day. I transact like maybe once every week. So yeah, 12.5%. Again, if you look at the kind of weekly active users, you can kind of very easily double this number. 25. I mean, that's significant. That's enough for OMI's price to go, pretty parabolic. And obviously, as the price kind of jumps, other people wouldn't see it and take notice, and they'll kind of start to jump in as well. We've seen this happen multiple times. Now, that's just one aspect of the OUP. That's only the staking side, which is kind of like the one I want to focus on. Again, there are multiple other factors that will stack up and burn, and kind of like the way that I've seen it is, one aspect of the OUP, yeah, sure, it adds a bit of burn, but when every aspect is kind of working in tandem together, then that's where we're going to start to see this consistent circulating supply burn and this consistent pressure on the token. And again, if the token price does drop, then that burn effect is just going to be amplified. So yeah, a lot of good stuff. Now, again, the staking is actually one of the last things that's going to be implemented, but what can we expect now? Reese is Reese. He might say some things that, people might misinterpret. So he says, we can expect the OUP sooner. We can expect all of these features to be live within 12 months. So, 2023, all of these OUP features should be live. Now, he says expect, okay? So, again, things could go wrong. Things have gone wrong before, most of the time, I'd say. So, yeah, set expectations accordingly. If he's saying next 12 months, probably set expectations for the next 18 months, which would line up very nicely with the Bitcoin halving in 2024. So, again, utility aligns with big exchanges with a big Bitcoin halving when you have all that liquidity coming in. That sounds like the perfect, I'd say, catalyst, perfect formula for OMI to really start to, bounce up from there. So I think we can expect a lot of good things to come. So I am going to be breaking down the other aspects of the OUP because it is such a big article, a lot of great stuff in there. I can't just cover everything in one video, but just off the staking, I think that is going to have the biggest impact personally in terms of pulling OMI out from the circulating supply. Again, because these are not tokens that have been permanently burned, those will eventually potentially re-enter, but there are many incentives to keep people staking up and locking their tokens up for those continuous rewards, because those rewards are seasonal. Now, one caveat I'd say that makes OMI's staking program better than anything else that I've come across is pretty much the majority of staking programs I've been involved. You stake tokens to secure some network, and you'll get rewarded in the same tokens. Now, what is the issue with that? Pretty much all projects that do that, you're going to get a period where the token just pumps because everyone's buying it to lock it up, and then after maybe a year, let's say you bought 1,000 of something token, you lock it up, you get some crazy 300% APY. At the end of the year, your 1,000 tokens are now 4,000 tokens. And everyone who locked up their tokens, they now have 4 times as many tokens. All you've done at the end of the year is essentially quadrupled the supply. So you've diluted yourself by 1-to-4 ratio. What's most likely going to happen is, people are going to want to get their initial investment back because there's 4 times as many tokens now. It stands to make sense that unless something significant has happened to increase the value of the token, 4 times as many tokens means your token is now only 25% as valuable. You're going to have to sell off a bunch of the token, and I guarantee you a lot of people, as soon as they get their staking free, they're going to want to sell some tokens, and that's usually what results in a huge dump. That's what happened to Axie Infinity, for example. That's what happened, you know, similarly to Illuvium as well. That's another one I've been following. That is the problem when you stake tokens to unlock more tokens. However, OMI, when you're staking it, you don't unlock more OMI. You unlock benefits in the VeVe app in the form of, you know, these OUP tickets, exclusive collectibles, you know, benefits in terms of, you know, land sales, etc. So because the staking doesn't result in more dilution of OMI, then that is perfectly great. However, like I said before, OMI is actually already fully diluted, a fact that I cannot stop talking about because people underestimate how valuable that is. You know, there is no more fear of, you know, random VCs coming in, unloading the tokens on you. That is done. A lot of projects still have to deal with that. So the only thing that's really going to affect OMI price now is if just people who are already in it just choose to sell, really. And I don't really see too many people at this point selling, especially right now with, you know, OUP actually being a real thing. It wasn't just made up, as some people were trying to insinuate that it was a myth. They were just lying. And I think with the restructuring of the company, we can definitely see those deliveries being, you know, I'd say fairly on time, fairly expected. But yeah, a lot of good stuff to look forward to. So yeah, tomorrow we do have an AMA as well, so I will be streaming that. I'll be tuning into that, see if I can ask some questions. But yeah, that'll be good fun. And upcoming AMA as well, we'll have with Reese. I'm going to be doing one on Wednesday as well, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, Decon next week as well. Got everything sorted for that, so I'll see you guys at LA or Anaheim Decon if you're coming to that. But yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys. Please do like and subscribe to support the content, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.